Corey Browder from the Hawkeye of the Storm. We're less than 1 week from the start of the 2023 football season. Yes, college football is officially back. Week 0 games in the books. And now we start talking about Iowa, Utah State. But first, before we do that, we've got some recruiting stuff to talk about. And there's been a few commitments that we've not had a chance to address here on the show. We're going to try to do that this week before the start of the 2023 campaign. We're going to start with an edge rusher from the state of Texas today, and we'll talk about some of the 23 guys who will be starting their careers at Iowa in a week from now. We'll talk about them here in the coming days as well. But first, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Iowa Floor Covering down in Bondurant. Tyler, Ryan, and the guys running the show down there at Iowa Floor Covering, doing great work, servicing your flooring needs across the state of Iowa. They've got this tough core click together 4.5 millimeter waterproof vinyl flooring available at $269 per foot, and it's a self-installation type of flooring. Be sure to check out their great products at iowafloorcovering.com/DIY to cash in on this deal. Again, iowafloorcovering.com/DIY. We appreciate IFC. They'll be with us throughout the season. Thank you in advance to them, and be sure to support Iowa Floor Covering in Bondurant. So Chima Chineke recently committing to the Iowa football 2024 class. He's a 3-star edge rusher from Plano, Texas, from Plano East High School in Texas. Part of 6A football, good level of Texas football. That's always a good sign. Did have some really solid Power 5 offers out there. Okie State offered. Texas Tech was in on Chineke and offered. Kansas, Oregon State, Houston, Vanderbilt, along with some good, solid American Conference teams as well. He has got size at 6'5", 240, maybe a little bit bigger than your average edge guy coming out of high school. He's got another year to get bigger. I wonder, my big thing when I watch him on tape, he seems to have good strength for a guy his age and competing at his level. He's rated the 47th best edge rusher nationally. Speed does not blow off the screen to me, but he does have a knack for getting around the tackle. And again, with his ability to just bull rush and use his athleticism and his strength to his advantage, I would think if he packs on 20 to 30 pounds, maybe Iowa starts looking at him coming in as an interior guy, or maybe he ends up being a really big edge rusher. And I think he's probably going to pack on a decent amount of weight. I believe Joseph Anderson, who's also part of this 2024 class, he's considered an edge guy, around the same height, about 30 pounds lighter than Chineke. So, not everybody's coming in at 210. I get that. But I just wonder, with his style and his upper body strength, at least what I see on tape, I wonder if they're not able to breed him into an interior guy. And as I say, whenever Iowa gets a commitment from a D lineman, Kelvin Bell, Phil Parker, they have found a real knack for developing lots of depth and guys who can run on the inside and outside. Brian Allen Jr. is a guy who they got last year who I think has got a shot at being that type of a guy who they can run as an edge guy, came in as a DN, but also will run some on the inside. He's around 270 right now. And I think Chineke, I actually think the last name's pronounced Chineke. I think Chima can get there. Had 35 tackles last year, 6.5 sacks. And he told On 3 that Lucas Van Ness, the recent Iowa football draftee who got drafted in the first round, that helped the cause for Iowa to be able to land Chineke. And that inspires confidence in guys who've got other Power 5 options across the U.S. I would say this. As a unit, you have to think that Iowa's desire to have 7, 8, 9 guys in kind of a rotation to keep everybody fresh, that could serve to their advantage at times in the recruiting trail, but it could also work against them because there are guys who probably don't want to share as many snaps. But the good news is when you see guys like Lucas Van Ness who play in that style of system, he was never officially a starter at Iowa and yet was able to deserve a first-round draft pick, and he's got a chance to be really, really good in the league. That's only going to help the cause. And a guy like Chineke, who could have went to some other Power 5 places, he can sit back and say, look, if I go there, not only can I play fresh all the time, but it's not going to hurt my draft stock. Advantage Iowa. And again, he did have some options on the table. Again, good strength, probably good speed. He's going to develop other moves as he gets at Iowa, and we'll see where he ends up, if he's an interior or a guy on the outside. A couple other notes for that 24 class. A couple other guys who were projected as edge rushers. Jack Campbell's little brother, Drew Campbell. I'm sorry, somebody got mad at me last time I used the term little brother. Younger brother, Drew Campbell, who's currently around 6'5", 225. He is projected as an edge guy, obviously somewhat similar size to his older brother, probably a little bit bigger than Jack was at this point in his high school career. And then a couple of other edge guys that Iowa has committed currently. Devin Kennedy, the kid from Phoenix. I mentioned Joseph Anderson out of St. Louis. So Kelvin Bell and this defensive staff, they've done a nice job across the country getting these kids. Texas, Arizona, Missouri. That's good news and good athleticism. They got some really good athletes coming in next year that are currently projected as edge rushers. Chineke's got about 2 inches on Devin Kennedy. He's the biggest edge rusher currently committed in this class. Boy, that official visit weekend for the string of recruits Iowa had back in June has paid huge dividends. Credit to not only these coaches who are recruiting. It's not just the position coaches, because these guys are hitting different regions. Tyler Barnes, the recruiting coordinator, he's part of this. Give him credit because Iowa's done a nice job not only sealing the border, we've talked about that in 2024, but getting some nice pieces, some nice snags from outside of the state of Iowa. That's always good news, especially when they can be athletes that maybe are not as readily available here in Iowa. So we'll continue to follow the 2024 class. Wanted to give you some early thoughts on the commitment from Chima Chineke. And again, we'll be back with more projecting and predictions and previews, all that good stuff. We've got Don Patterson coming on in the next couple of days. Brad Heinrichs of the Swarm will be on in a few days as well during the live show. Stay tuned for more information. Turn that bell on. Hit that bell for notifications. We'll talk to you soon right here from the Hawkeye of the Storm.